The morning is the morning of the day when I and Eustace from the city went to see the gardener's daughter, I and he, brothers in art, a friendship so complete, portioned in halves between us that we grew, the fable of the city where we dwelt. My Eustace might have sat for Hercules, so muscular he spread, so broad of beast, he by some law that holds in love and draws the greater to the lesser, long desired, a certain miracle of symmetry, a miniature of loveliness, all grace, summed up and closed in little, Juliet she, so light of foot, so light of spirit, oh she, to me myself, for some three careless moons, the summer pilot of an empty heart, unto the shores of nothing. Know you not such touches are but embassies of love, to tamper with the feelings, ere he found empire for life? But Eustace painted her, and said to me, she sitting with us then, when will you paint like this? And I replied, my words were half in earnest, half in jest, 'tis not your work, but love's, love unperceived. A more ideal artist, he than all, came, drew your pencil from you, made those eyes darker than darkest pansies, and that hair more black than ashbuds in the front of March. And Juliet answered, laughing, go and see the gardener's daughter. Trust me, after that, you scarce can fail to match his masterpiece. And up we rose, and on the spur we went, not wholly in the busy world, nor quite beyond it, blooms the garden that I love. News from the humming city comes to it, in sound of funeral are of marriage bells, and sitting muffled in dark leaves you hear the windy clanging of the minster clock, although between it and the garden lies a league of grass washed by a slow broad stream, that stirred with languid pulses of the oar, waves all its lazy lilies, and creeps on, barge laden, to the three arches of a bridge, crowned with the minster towers. The fields between are dewy fresh, browsed by deep-uttered kine, and all about the large lime feathers low, the lime a summer home of murmurous wings. And that still place she hoarded her in herself, grew seldom seen, not less among us lived, her fame from lip to lip. Who had not heard of Rose, the gardener's daughter? Where was he, so blunt in memory, so old at heart, at such a distance from his youth and grief, that having seen forgot the common mouth, so gross to express delight in praise of her, grew oratory? Such a lord is love, and beauty such a mistress of the world. And if I said that fancy led by love would play that flying forms and images, yet this is also true, that long before I'd looked upon her, when I heard her name, my heart was like a prophet to my heart, and told me I should love a crowd of hopes that sought to sow themselves like winged seeds, born out of everything I heard and saw, fluttered about my senses and my soul, and vague desires, like fitful blasts of balm, to one that travels quickly, made the air of life delicious, and all kinds of thought that verged upon them sweeter than the dream dreamed by a happy man, when the dark east unseen is brightening to his bridal morn. And sure this orbit of the memory folds forever in itself the day we went to see her, all the land in flowery squares beneath a broad and equal blowing wind, smelt of the coming summer, as one large cloud drew downward, but all else of heaven was pure, up to the sun, and May from verge to verge, and May with me from head to heel. And now, as though 'twere yesterday, as though it were the hour just flown, that morn with all its sound, for those old Mays had thrice the life of these, rings in mine ears, the steer forgot to graze, and where the hedgerow cuts the pathway stood, leaning his horns into the neighbor field, and lowing to his fellows from the woods, came voices of the well-contented doves. The lark could scarce get out his notes for joy, but shook his song together as he neared his happy home. The ground to left and right, the cuckoo told his name to all the hills. The mellow ouzel fluted in the elm, the redcap whistled, and the nightingale sang loud, as though he were the bird of day. And Eustace turned and smiling said to me, "Hear how the bushes echo by my life. These birds have joyful thoughts. Think you they sing like poets from the vanity of song, or have they any sense of why they sing? And would they praise the heavens for what they have?" So we see we're going past these externals to what's driving it all. And this breaking free, when you're told to deny your feelings, to deny your emotions, things happen. Or if you're told that you can get whatever anywhere, you run into some of the same problems.